Welcome, everybody, to the first Monday Nitro Party. Monday Nitro Party. Talk about a throwback, man. We don't have any Nitro girls here. I wish that we did. That would make it much more entertaining.
That'd be wild. But
Dude.
we have boxed water.
We do have boxed water. Apparently, boxed water is better. My name's Jonas Barnes, comic here in New York City. Longtime wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan since... as long as I can remember. I've been a wrestling fan since probably I was like 10 years old. Here with my co-host,
Josh Alba. What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
I'm also a stand-up comic in New York City, and I am also a wrestling fan since, I don't know, like 5, 6, pretty much.
Dude, it's been a long time. It's kind of funny, like, as I watch it now, like, I just turned 40 years old, and I still, not only do I still watch wrestling, but I love it more. And I've thought about it, it's... I have been a wrestling fan for most of my life. And I used to play football, and wrestling was the thing that, like, pro wrestling was the thing that stuck the whole time.
Do you, not to sound corny or like, you know, how like every wrestling interview starts, but do you remember the exact first moment when you started watching wrestling?
So I do, and it's because my uncle worked at the local shitty arena that we had in Yakima, Washington.
Oh, dope.
And he was like head of security or something like that. So he was like, hey, come out and watch wrestling, you know, and I was like, all right, fuck, like whatever. And I went, so the first show that I saw live was headlined by The Undertaker.
What?
Yeah, but it was OG Undertaker, you know what I mean? Like purple boots? It was gray boots. It was gray boots Undertaker.
I hate you.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so jealous.
That was the first time that was the first wrestling event that I saw. But here's the thing. It was The Undertaker, but nobody knew who he was yet. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, it was like seeing this thing that's going to become huge, you know, for the first time.
Right.
So yeah, I saw that, and it was like, I was up close and personal, so I got to like see the stuff. And as a kid, I was like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first thing I saw. And it was, like I said, I want to say I was like 9, 10 years old. Something like that. What about you?
I remember, so this is how I started. My first time. So as a kid, so I grew up. I grew up in Brooklyn, right? We couldn't afford like Blockbuster or any of that shit. There's like Hollywood Video back then too.
Oh yeah,
to rent tapes. So my mom used to just straight up go to a video store right on Seneca and Palmetto. I think it's a liquor store now, but we used to go there, and like every other weekend, like maybe twice a month, we rent a couple of movies. And I remember when it was my turn, when I got big enough to rent a movie and get to pick one. I didn't go through the curtain in the back, but
dude, the porn room.
I didn't go there. Yeah. I wasn't allowed.
I did that later.
Yeah, like 2 years later.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was when I remember like Royal Rumble 92, 93.
Sure.
I remember like Scott Hall or like Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon was the first wrestler I saw.
They always had those badass covers.
Yeah.
Like they had some artist do it, and it was like these just bitchin' covers that were like, they were really, really artistic and awesome looking.
Exactly.
Always made you want to see them.
And I was like, I want to watch this. I don't know what this is. I want to see it. I had no idea what wrestling was. And then that's when we brought it home and I watched it. I'm like, oh shit, this shit is great. Right. I saw Razor Ramon was the first guy I saw. My god brother, my god sister at the time, when I went to their house for the first time, when I remember as a kid, they had this guy Hulk Hogan. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
right,
this white dude with a bandana, yellow shirt.
Did not age well. He did not. No, as an adult,
it was like the stretchy one too, which is even weirder because I thought he could do that in real life. And so I was like, who's this guy? Razor Ramon's so much cooler. And
right.
When I remember that's how I got into it, but like we didn't have cable, so we had to kind of like wait till they started showing up on like network television.
Sure.
So like I think the first 2 shows was like the WCW Saturday show when I saw the Big Show show up. I remember, well, he was like the Giant at the time,
right? And
then when I think it was SmackDown finally came to Channel 9 here, UPN in New York. That was when I finally started watching like consistent wrestling, you know, the Attitude Era,
right,
all that, and then Stone Cold and the whole Stone Cold Mike Tyson stuff, all of that back then. That was when I officially like started.
Dude, so you started watching it like you really started watching it at a better time than I did, because I watched it during, I don't know what they called it, was like the new the new era or whatever it was called, where it was like, it was Hulk Hogan, it was The Undertaker, but then you had like those weird ass characters like Repo Man and like Duke the Dumpster Drosy and shit.
Yeah.
Which is like, so I was watching it during then, and wrestling was this thing that I would watch with my grandpa. So with my parents, they were always gone because they worked as like firefighters and paramedics, and they also didn't like me, so they would just give me to my grandpa, you know. But we would stay there, and it was kind of funny because my grandpa, he was the salt of the earth. He was awesome. But he would always watch old man shows like Matlock and shit. And then we would watch wrestling, and he would just sit there and eat like Salisbury steak dinners, just the smelliest like banquet dinners. And we would watch this wrestling stuff, and he would just like, he would look at me like, what the fuck is this? Like, what are you, this is ridiculous. I'm like, you just watched Matlock. Like, shut up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like that was where wrestling was like a thing for me. And I remember that like it went from that to like, oh, now I want to see this all the time.
Right.
Like it wasn't just my grandpa. And that's when I started to watch like, I started to watch WCW and WWE, WWF at the time. And that's so like it transitioned into like a full-time thing. So it went from being nostalgic to being like, oh shit, like this is something I actually like. If I would have started during the Attitude Era, like, dude, the Attitude Era,
it kind of fucked me up.
I'm sure like
Yeah.
the Attitude Era was wild.
I started watching the Attitude Era stuff. There was a channel called PAX. I don't know if you remember that channel or heard of it.
Dude, yeah, I've heard of it, but I never got to see it.
Yeah, so they used to give, when I finally figured out that they were giving Raw on the PAX channel on a Saturday, that's when I started getting into like Stone Cold beefing with Mike Tyson. That was the first thing I saw, Stone Cold and Mike Tyson beefing. I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then that's when I started pretty much watching it. There was the only person in my family that liked wrestling was my older cousin.
That's a weird family.
That's
just
it.
Like
no one
just
else.
a random cousin.
Well, like my brother, my sisters weren't into it. My mom wasn't into it. It was just me and my older cousin because what we used to do, we used to go sleep over at my grandmother's house, and she had like the illegal hot box, and that's how we got to watch now like all the pay-per-views.
Dude, those were the shit. Those cable boxes that you could descramble.
Yeah, so we were like, Grandma, like, please, please, please. Like, we had to beg her to let us come over, and we were able to. And it was a fight with my grandfather, because my grandfather would get pissed, like, oh, they're fucking watching wrestling again.
Yeah, they'd just leave. He's just
he would come in the living room sometimes to be an asshole and just, like, change it to, like, the Spanish channel, and then we just, like, flip out on him.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Did you ever have pay-per-view parties with your friends?
No.
Or were you too old for that?
No, I never did. It was just me and my cousin.
So we used to do this thing where we would get a pay-per-view, and it was usually from a descrambled like cable box thing. And I remember this one specifically. It was the Survivor Series. I want to say it was 94. It was the one where it was The Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan. And it was the one where Ric Flair interfered, and he threw the chair underneath him, and it had the most bitch-ass looking tombstone ever. Like, even his children were like, his head was like a foot and a half away from that thing. But we had a whole shitload of our friends over, and that was the first time that my parents like actually watched wrestling. And I've never seen a more disappointed look on my stepdad's face. He's just like, this is what my fucking son likes. Like, this is when my stepdad was in his homophobia era, where he's not anymore. He's grown out of that. But at the time, it was just like, there's so many oily men on this thing, and a dead guy. Like, what is going on? And then it was just me and my friends kicking the shit out of each other afterwards. We like throw each other over the couches and stuff, and it's like, you're gonna break everything. Like,
I think if my dad was around, maybe I wouldn't be into wrestling. So I'm kind of glad he left.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because there was nobody telling me to not watch.
You think you would have like smacked the shit out of you? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, what are you? You're one of those people? Like, you know,
yeah.
Because he did not grow out of it. He's still
he's still a dick.
He's very hardcore dick, homophobic, racist, whatever.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. Is he a New York father that just like has that has like that part?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm kind of glad he wasn't around, because I really think if he was around, I wouldn't be into wrestling. I'd be into something stupid like cars. I don't know.
Oh. Don't want that.
Brakes.
No, talking about the Attitude Era, it's like, that's one of those times in wrestling where everything was filthy, you know? So like, you started with like the Mike Tyson and Shawn Michaels thing. Like that.
And then it got worse with The Rock.
Dude, yeah. And then it just got crazier and crazier. And like, I mean, obviously anybody listening knows what the Attitude Era is, but like, that was the golden age of like wrestling filth. You know, like, it was nothing but dick jokes.
It was literally Jerry Springer turned up to the max.
It was one of my favorite things. this is my favorite part of the Attitude Era, is Shawn Michaels during that time. Mm-hmm. Nobody was more proud of their dick than Shawn Michaels was during that era. You know what I mean? Everything would be like, look at my dick. Like, it wasn't just the crotch shot, but it was like he would jump in the air.
Yeah, it was wild.
Like, he would do that to Sergeant Slaughter. Like, he would just jump up and do the crotch shot. Yeah.
Look at it.
And then he also, there's a GIF online that is my favorite GIF of all time, and it's Shawn Michaels pantomiming a blowjob to a fan that is so mad at him. Mm-hmm. And he's paying attention to the balls and everything. Like, it's a very enthusiastic pantomime blowjob, if I have to say so myself. And that fan was so mad. I think it might have been your dad. He was very angry.
He was probably like, when I have a son, you ain't gonna watch this shit. Oh wait, I do. Whoa, well, we'll try again.
What was your favorite part of the Attitude Era?
My favorite part of the Attitude Era, man, there's so many. It's hard to pick, but I think I will say this: the most interesting thing to me about the Attitude Era was how mad Triple H got me as a kid.
Really? Triple H pissed you off as a kid?
Pissed me off. That's how much of a dick he was. Like,
he was awful.
I remember one moment where I actually punched my TV because of him.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, I hate you. Like,
well, Hunter, we know you're listening, so you might owe him a new TV.
You asshole.
No, Triple H, he was a dick during the Attitude Era for sure.
Yeah, he was evil. I mean, it depends. Like, if you ask me, that's my favorite Attitude Era part as a kid.
Right.
As an adult, oh my God, so many. Fucking Big Bossman feeding Al Snow his dog.
That was wild.
It's the funniest thing ever.
Feeding him pepper.
Watching that promo is hilarious. Yeah. I die laughing every time I watch it.
It's because they expected you as kids to think that he was really feeding him his dead dog.
Like, I really did think he did that. Of course. And I was sad.
We were morons.
Yeah.
When the Big Show jumped onto his dad's casket as the Big Boss Man is just driving away.
Yeah.
Like, that was my introduction, I think, to comedy. I don't think it was actually stand-up. I think it was shit like that where it was just like, okay, this is hilarious.
Yeah. People do this professionally?
Then the Attitude Era, like, and it was weird. I don't know if I can exactly pinpoint the time that the Attitude Era kind of like jumped the shark, but it might have been the Katie Vick thing.
Yeah.
The Katie Vick angle might have been the one where they're like, we fucked up. We went too far. And
I mean, the first time with what I think was Brian Pillman with the gun.
Yeah, but that was different because that wasn't like, that was real. Like, when I say real, but I mean, that was realistic.
But that was them crossing. That was because I remember there was an interview with Vince going, they were asking him, like, how far are you will go? He goes, I don't know yet. And then the next week after was Brian Pillman pointing a gun at Stone Cold.
Oh, yeah, fade to black, bang, bang.
Yeah. Next week or whatever.
I think with that angle specifically, I think that was kind of when the Attitude Era went from being like just hilarious and over the top to being like, oh shit, it's serious.
Yeah.
But like the Katie Vick thing, still to this day, like the fact that they haven't whitewashed that completely from like all of everything.
Watch it on Peacock.
Seriously, like Chris Benoit, they won't say his name. They won't say his name. No, nothing. But Triple H, fucking a dead body, and then like even to the point where he had oatmeal brains in his hand, which was the funniest part, where he lifts his hand up and he's like, I screwed her brains out, like that type of thing. And like I feel like as kids we just had to be like, oh my god, like that type of thing. But even kids at that time, they were just like, no.
Did anybody during the Attitude Era, well, you were probably a little older by then, did anybody like during the Attitude era was responsible for getting you in trouble?
For getting me in trouble.
For doing something like, did you ever like mimic them somewhere like school or whatever?
Sure. I did the crotch chop.
Yeah.
I for sure did the crotch chop. I did it to a person who beat the shit out of me afterwards. Shout out to my boys. As soon as they found out that fat bruises easily, they were like, I love doing this. I'm going to beat this kid every day. No, I did that. And I also did it. Seriously, I did that. And I also did it to a biology teacher who, by the way, I will name him. His name was Mr. Kohler. I don't even know if he's alive. I hope he's not. But that guy, he was the worst. And I did that to him in the middle of a science report that I was supposed to like say to the entire class. And he was being a dick and he kept on cutting me off. So finally, I was just like, fuck you. You know, like I did the crotch chop, and he was just like,
Mr.
Really? He was like, you're going to the principal's office.
So his name was Mr. Kohler?
Mr. Kohler.
Mr. Kohler, if you're alive and listening to us, go fuck yourself.
Yep, suck it. Suck it.
Suck it.
Yep, that's what you can do. So this is actually a good transition because I want to talk about this now. Now, in the way that WWE is now, especially, like I'm, talking specifically about WWE, with the way that everything is in wrestling right now, everything's connected. The internet, everything's connected. Like people doing side hustles and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And like something just happened that would never have happened in the Attitude Era, because during the Attitude Era, the divas and stuff, they were posing for Playboy, like, and they really leaned into the sexuality. Mm-hmm. And like today, like we just had somebody get fired because she had like not even a crazy OnlyFans type of site.
Yeah.
And it was Mandy Rose, which I want to talk about this just because Mandy Rose, first off, she's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's seen Mandy Rose knows that. But like, if anybody has seen her subscription site, it's not like she's doing anything crazy. Like she's showing half a nipple in the water, and
it's very beautiful.
I mean, it's fantastic. She is a specimen of a woman.
She's very artsy when it comes to showing it.
She is. Mm-hmm. She actually is. She puts it like in the water. It's in a pool, but like the ripple is like just above it. But she got fired, and what's crazy is like she had a 413-day like reign as NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, she was
banging it out, dude.
Bloodlining that shit.
Yeah, she had like she had easily the longest title reign in NXT history for that title. And then she loses it on a random episode of NXT, and then the next day it's like, boom, fired.
Yeah.
What's fucked about that is the one that did it, the one that called it, was Shawn Michaels.
Really?
Yeah, I just read this. Matt Bloom was the one that snitched her out. First off, Prince Albert, come on, dude. What are you doing? He's the one that came to Shawn Michaels and was like, yo, this content is like, it's a little too risque. Like, what do you want to do about it?
You're literally named after a dick piercing.
Like come on. Like, really, like...
Jesus Christ.
A vicious dick piercing, by the way. If you've ever seen a Prince Albert...
I don't want to.
No, there are
not. I don't want to.
One of the most horrific piercings I've ever seen. Some people rock it, but I couldn't do it. But I think Zach Amico actually has one.
Oh, really?
Come to think of it. Yeah, I actually think...
I'd see Zach's.
I think Zach... I think Zach does have one.
I would see Zach's.
I think he does. That's
it, because he's a friend.
And also, I think it takes up the majority of his dick. Like he talks about that. Like I think that's what he has.
Oh damn.
But yeah, dude, he was the one. So Matt Bloom comes to Shawn Michaels and he's like, "Hey, Mandy's got this subscription site, and like this is, the stuff is too risque." Which, by the way, Matt, that's a pay subscription site and it's behind a paywall. So guess who was subscribing to Mandy's page?
Josh Alba.
But boom.
I did.
It was you.
I did. You know what's funny about the whole thing coming out? I had no idea she had that until I found out she was fired and the reason why. I was like, oh, word? And it was only like, what, 20 a month? So I was like, sure, let me check it out. I regret it immediately. It's just, this is why I don't like it. I understand the prices are the prices, right? Her videos that she posts and sends out there that she sells are at least minimum like $55.
Right.
So I get it. She's Mandy Rose. Right, make your money. But the most annoying thing about subscribing to her is these emails I'm getting all day. Mandy Sachs has sent you a message. Mandy Sachs, and like she is not sending me a message at all. It's not for me.
No,
it's
not.
It's just another video that she's selling, and it's like all day. And it's like, what if I had a girlfriend?
Right.
And just seeing she's my notifications. Mandy Sachs is.
She's like, who the fuck is this Mandy Sachs? Who is this?
She was former NXT World Champion.
She's like, I don't give a shit. Why is she sending you messages?
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the thing. I'm an OnlyFans supporter. Like I'm unapologetic about that. I have a bunch of friends that are sex workers that are on OnlyFans. I think if you can't masturbate to your friends, then what are you doing with your life?
Yeah,
especially in 2022. What are you doing with
your friends?
Yeah, right. I'm like, come on.
What's the point?
You got hot friends. They want to put content on the internet. Fucking support it. So I support that like crazy. And I also also at one time subscribed to Paige Van Zant's page, MMA star Paige Van Zant, who is now pretty much full-time a content creator. And I'll tell you what, it was the same shit. As soon as I signed up for it, it was just like boom, 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 just all these messages, and I was like, fucking cancel immediately. But the thing that's weird about the Mandy Rose situation is that, again, this is like the change from then to now. Like, they've allowed people to have other pages. They've allowed people to have OnlyFans. They've allowed people to have all these other things. But apparently they said that whatever Mandy was doing was too risque.
It was not.
No, fuck no, it wasn't, dude. I saw the videos, okay? Yeah. Like, I've gone on to Reddit. I've seen it. Did I pay for it? No, 'cause I'm not an asshole. But I did go on to Reddit. I did go on to Reddit, and I've seen the videos.
You Reddit gods.
Dude, for whatever the risque thing was, it was literally her sitting reverse cowgirl with a thong on.
Yeah, that was probably the most risque thing I've seen.
And
sitting on her fiance, like...
Come on.
It's they're getting married. So what?
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous to think that, of all things, that's going to be what gets, and it kind of fucks with me that Shawn Michaels was the one that had to make that call.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, I can Matt Bloom, whatever. Like, that's weird that he was the one that dimed her out. But the fact that Shawn Michaels, I feel kind of bad for him, because he's the one that pretty much runs NXT at this point. And he had to be he was the one that was like, we have to get the title off of her immediately. So with me, I would think that she's getting like spit roasted on video, or something like that. No, not at all. It was this thonged, reverse cowgirl thing where it's just like, ass cheeks. Couldn't even have been hers. It could have been like fill-in, like stunt ass. You know what I mean? Like Orgasmo when they do a stunt cock. Could have been that, but could have been that. But with Mandy Rose's butt, where do you think she goes from here? Do you think she's going to stay just... By the way, before you answer that question, do you know how much she was making per month on her fan site?
Probably. I know it's going to be a lot.
Throw a number out there. Per month.
Per month, I'm going to say... All right, so I did read that dick ratings are $35 each. Somebody did ask her on her page, like, hey, you still doing dick ratings?
Dude, and she was like, how comfortable I would have to be with my cock size to be able to be like, hey, Mandy, why don't you give me a 1 to 10 on this one?
If I knew Mandy Sachs was actually giving me an honest like rating, and with like maybe some advice or like some some what she likes, what she doesn't like a full blown dick rating, I would send her my shit like right now, like flaccid. I'd just be like, yeah, like right here, like this is
you would just send
coming
her a
inside. Just coming inside from the cold right now. What would you rate this? What do you like and hate?
Yeah, but. What would you say about my worst case scenario? Like, what would you do?
But no, so all right, so 35, and then she told them I have to get that back to at least 350 people. So that alone right there is I don't know how to do math.
I'm super bad at math.
That's going to be like at least 90. I'm gonna say a number, and then everyone that listens to this, you fucking liar.
No, he's going calculating.
We're at least 13,000 on dick ratings alone. Okay. So I'm gonna say 100,000 a month. Not even close. I figured. Okay.
$250,000.
Jesus Christ.
Do you know
that's awesome,
dude? $250,000 a month on her fan site. Fuck that NXT contract.
Yeah,
do you know how much money?
Fuck AEW,
dude. Seriously, do you know how much more money she's gonna make now? That's
100%.
That was while she was working NXT. So now that number's gonna go up, dude.
My reaction when I found out she had that page, probably times it by 4.
It's ridiculous.
She's probably gonna make $1 million in 1 month, this month alone.
So do you think that she goes full content creation, or do you think that she goes to AEW?
I don't think why would she want to go to AEW?
Maybe she still wants to wrestle.
I don't know.
I mean, do you think that Tony Khan's gonna shell out the money for it?
I don't think it's worth it for her. She's making all this money now on her page.
Here's the thing, it's a bummer.
Can AEW have a female wrestler with content like that?
AEW does not give a fuck about that stuff.
I don't know.
Anybody that's been watching AEW, they've been doing stuff like, first off, there's people that are like kind of fanboys of one or the other, and some people are like, they want one to fail or whatever the case is. AEW does some stuff really good, and they do some stuff really bad because they have growing pains and they're, kind of finding their footing and figuring out who they are as a company and stuff like that. But like they give freedom for promos, they let their workers do other stuff. Like sometimes they can take outside bookings. They don't care about content creation stuff. They don't care about any of that stuff. But I think with Mandy, here's the thing that's a bummer. She got so much better in the ring.
Yeah.
During her title reign. Mm-hmm. Like she legitimately became one of the better, I would say one of the top workers.
Better than the Bella Twins.
Definitely. Well, come on. Katie Vick was better than the Bella Twins at times. But Mandy Rose, Mandy Rose, like especially in NXT, like she became a very good worker. So it kind of would be a bummer to see her not do wrestling anymore. Mm-hmm. But then on the other hand of it wouldn't be too much of a bummer to see her really lean into the content creation.
Yeah, exactly.
Which kind of like, it sounds kind of douchebaggy for, two fucking dudes to be like, oh yeah, I hope she does more. But listen, she's gorgeous. All right. And she also likes to model. Like that's what she was prior to WWE. And also during WWE, she was like a full blown, published fitness model and shit like that.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if she were to go to AEW. I don't think she would.
I don't know. Tino Sabatelli goes in there every now and then, and that's her fiance. Which I thought it was funny. Somebody said that she was going to show her pussy online, and then they were like, well, she already did. She showed Tino.
Yeah.
So it's just like, which, no hate to Tino. He is in phenomenal shape, and I'm sure he could kick the shit out of almost all wrestling fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So are you an AEW watcher, Josh?
Yes.
Are you a fan of AEW? Hell yeah.
Elite.
I know. Baby. I could tell from your shirt. I could tell that you like them.
This is a new shirt.
Is that a new shirt?
This is literally the newest shirt that the Elite have. I got it right away.
What has you excited about AEW right now?
I don't know. They always keep me guessing. That could be a good or a bad thing. Because I never know what the fuck they're going to do. And I don't think they know what the fuck they're going to do either.
Their batting average is pretty high. Like they do some good stuff.
Yeah, but I think it's better now. I do enjoy it a lot more now that CM Punk is gone, which is weird.
I want to mention this. I was always a big fan of CM Punk when he was in WWE, and prior to that when he was in the Indies. Mm-hmm. Always been a fan of him in the ring. Outside of the ring, he's a dick, and that's fine. But
I never met him.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. I'm talking about like interviews online, like everything. Everything points to the fact that he's kind of a dickhead. But here's the thing: he's never been shy about that. Yeah. So when people are weirded out by the fact that he's not like some super nice guy, on AEW or whatever, that media scrum was kind of fucked up. But again, that's CM Punk. That's who he is.
Yeah, I like when somebody said that he was a spotlight taker. And I was like, yeah, he kind of is, because, he came back to wrestling on my birthday. And that pissed me off.
I pissed you off?
Because I had a birthday party in my yard. And I had some friends over. And one of my friends was like, hey, can we watch CM Punk come back tonight? I was like, no, it's my birthday. Come on. So I had to spend 10 minutes to watch CM Punk make his entrance. And I sat there, and I was just watching CM Punk coming out. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I hate you.
So now you have bad blood with CM Punk.
I have bad blood with CM Punk. He couldn't just wait till Wednesday. It had to be on my birthday. Took away from my friends. Man.
He did. He took away attention.
But I do enjoy it a lot now, more than before. I think because I don't know what's gonna happen, and I like that. That's the thing I miss. I hate finding things out on the internet. You try to not look at the internet. You try to not look at those stupid dirt sheet websites. I have Dave Meltzer blocked.
What about Dave Bixen Band?
Bixen?
Yeah.
Oh, I follow him. I don't really see him.
I like him.
Yeah. He's cool. I don't really.
Are you a Sean Sapp fan?
I don't care for him.
You don't care for him?
Yeah.
I like Sean.
I mean, everybody likes him, but I'm just like, I don't care for him. I don't like knowing the behind the scenes stuff. I hate it. I used to when I was younger. Now I'm just like, I like it better when I don't know. And that's how I enjoy it more.
So it's because when you were younger, that was hard to find. Because when you were younger, if you found out the backstage stuff, that took work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now that you're older, you go on Twitter to find anything.
And you can find anything.
Well, you don't even have to. You go on Twitter, and if you happen to go to a bunch of different wrestling, Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
Just like, oh fuck, the Elite's coming back. Like I didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
I could have seen that.
They gave it away in their promos, but you know what I mean? Like the stuff that you read about backstage or who's getting signed, how much they're getting paid. I don't care about any of that stuff.
That's fair.
Yeah, I just want to watch the show. That's all.
Are you an MJF as champion fan?
You know what's funny? I am happy he's champion, but so I don't know if I'm feeling it yet.
No? It's interesting because I
don't want to sound like a dick, but to me it feels like his edge has faded a little bit.
Yeah, so the thing is with MJF, what they did with his return was dope. I like that they did that. And also there was no hiding the fact that he was going to be champion. Like that was going to happen no matter what. I think if they're smart, that MJF is going to have a massive reign. Like I think he's going to be the champion for quite a while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I want to see his character change.
Yeah.
Because right now he's just an asshole.
How so?
I want to see his character evolve. Because right now he's
still an asshole, or maybe
to anything else.
I did like the fact that he was an asshole, but he was also a good guy. Because I felt like we haven't seen something like that in since Stone Cold.
Right, but here's the thing.
And then he went back to straight being an asshole, and I was just like, oh, this is I see it coming.
Right. So that's what I mean is if he did kind of the Stone Cold thing where it was a little good and a little bad and a little fun like that, I think that would be cool. And it's kind of a bummer that William Regal is off TV now because that thing that he did with Regal, that was kind of cool. That
was very cool.
That was kind of a cool thing. And also the way he ended it and that I'll get back to you. And then he just threw the mic on him and left. First off, that's a fantastic exit for Regal. Getting him out of the company. If you're going to do it, that's the way to do it.
Right.
But I want to say this because I like MJF a lot. And as a heel, he's fantastic.
Yeah, same.
He's a fantastic heel. But I want to say, and this is kind of a shout out to somebody else that I really enjoy as a wrestling personality, and I have for many years. He's not the best heel in the industry right now. Bully Ray is. Now, Bully Ray is only performing for 25 people at a time on Impact, but as far as a pure nasty piece of shit heel goes, Bully nails it. Regardless of whether you like the dude or not.
I don't like the dude.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. And that's completely fine.
I don't. Well, can I say why I don't like him?
Yeah, fuck him.
Just because the way he acted at the roast. That really pissed me off.
Sure, that's totally fair.
He was being such a bitch. For a guy who's so tough, he was being a bitch. Dan St. Germain had very great jokes.
Dude, Dan St. Germain is a
phenomenal. And then watching Bully Ray just oh, I can't believe we're roasting him. We should be celebrating him. Go home. Go home.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? Go away.
The thing is that here's the other thing about it.
Bully yourself through a table. What the fuck?
Bully can actually be funny. I've seen Bully be very funny. Outside of wrestling, I've seen him be very funny. So it is weird that he kind of was, bitching out on the roast.
Yeah, that pissed me off about him. Ever since that, I didn't like him because of that. Besides that, anything else?
So have you been watching any of the stuff that he's been doing with Impact?
No.
Okay.
I've seen very little clips here and there.
Okay.
I see he couldn't light a fire on the table the other day.
That's really funny. I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna urge you to watch clips of the current program he's got going on with Josh Alexander.
Okay.
Because it is kind of a masterclass in being a piece of shit.
Okay.
And doing it in a way that gets it across that there is some realism to it. And the reason I say that is because Bully, for all intents and purposes, whether he was Bubba Ray, whether he was Bully Ray, whether he was, whatever, he's always been a heel. Even when he was a good guy, he was still, there's always that's all right, when's he going to turn? He's always that guy. What he's doing with Impact right now with Josh Alexander is nasty. Is the best way to put it. It's straight up nasty. As soon as so Josh Alexander won he retained the title, and then Bully came in and had the call your shot thing, which is basically the Money in the Bank for Impact, and said, "I'm calling my shot on you." And then they shook hands. Everybody's like, "Yay!" Whatever, like that. And then Bully beat the shit out of him, and then Bully drugged dude's wife over the barricade, and and straight up had her in a position to pile drive her on concrete. and he was looking at him, and like he handcuffed Josh Alexander to the rope, and he was like mocking him and making him say that Bully was a better wrestler. Like he was making him say, like totally bitching him out. He was like, if you don't say it, I'm gonna drop her on the concrete. Like, and he would like, it was nasty. Like it was real tense.
We'll watch this when I get home.
Yeah. And then there was the most recent thing that he did with Tommy Dreamer that was like real. Because him and Tommy have been friends for, decades. And they also work together on Busted Open. Shout out to Busted Open because I fucking love them.
I like that podcast.
Yeah, I love them. Dave, I'm always a big fan of LaGreca. He's one of my favorite. But the most recent thing that they did on Impact with him and Tommy Dreamer was wild. Like just as far as the emotional stuff goes. And also I won't spoil it because you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But the end of the promo, as Bully is walking away, the stuff that he's saying to Tommy as he's walking away and like backing back into the curtain is such a big fuck you. Like it's so good. So I would definitely roll back into seeing that.
When did it start? Like September?
The program between those two, it's only been going on for like a month and a half.
Okay. All right.
So there's clips of it online.
All right, fine.
It's very.
I'll give Bully Ray another shot,
dude. I think you're going to be surprised.
That irked me so bad.
Sure, I can totally understand that. I can totally understand that. That roast was weird. If we're being honest, that was a weird roast.
But yeah, it was a Ric Flair roast.
Right. Well, there's a lot of things you could roast.
It was all like, you're old, you're dead, your wife, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was, and it was only like maybe 2 or 3 good roasters on it because they were actually comics.
Dan St. Germain is the one that made the joke that made the "you couldn't even keep a Mexican out of Charlotte" joke.
Yes.
That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I want to transition here a little bit, getting away from Impact. We're coming into the Royal Rumble season, which leads into the WrestleMania season. So there's people talking about backstage stuff. There's people talking about a lot of stuff that could be happening. Do you see any cool returns coming?
Adrenaline in the soul, something Cody Rhodes. That's the song that we sing. We don't know the words.
Yeah, that is. I don't think anybody knows the words of that
song.
No,
we just go something Cody Rhodes.
When it happened to WrestleMania, I think the entire audience was like, "Yeah, I don't know the words to this song, but I remember it."
Just know adrenaline in my soul. That's all you need to know.
That's all it is.
Scream that really loud.
That was wild that they let him come back as the American Nightmare. Everything about that was wild. The fact that he came out with the American Nightmare gimmick, the song, everything.
Well, yeah, it was his song. It wasn't AEW's.
But it's still
funny about it.
Yeah, but still, because at the time it was still Vince.
Yeah.
Vince, for all intents and purposes here, Vince is a fucking asshole. And he has been for
Oh yeah, for decades.
Yeah, as long as you can remember. And if reports are true, he's also very assaulty.
Did you watch that Vince doc, by the way?
Dude, I got about halfway through it, and I was just like,
so did you watch that basically ruthless aggression was developed when he was molested as a kid?
No,
so
I didn't see that.
If his mom didn't touch him, we would never have John Cena, when you really think about it.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, he developed his ruthless aggression as a kid when he was.
It's worth it.
His mom, yeah, and now we have John Cena, Word Life.
All right.
650 kids he's seen in the Make-A-Wish. Probably
you know what? Worth it.
A lot of dead kids.
Yeah, sorry.
A lot of dead kids.
A lot of them that didn't get to see their final.
None of that would have happened.
You can't see John Cena.
Yeah.
So,
none of that would have happened if Vince didn't get molested by his mom, which is weird.
That is weird. That's a weird thing. You know what's funny with this whole ruthless, like with the whole documentary about Vince? I started to watch it and it felt very much like just a
rundown,
slapped together. Like I'm going to take a clip here, I'm going to take a clip here, and then just like patchwork together.
It was just basically a very long Dark Side of the Ring movie.
Yeah, it did. It sounded like it felt like a very much like that.
This is what we've been trying to tell you the last 3 years about Vince.
Right.
Every season, it's his fault.
Not one person should be surprised about Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon.
It's weird how that came out.
Cool.
But no, nobody should be surprised about anything that Vince did. Like if somebody was like, "Oh yeah, he was assaulting people backstage," be like, "No shit." Have you ever seen him on camera? Like, of course.
Yeah.
Like, if
Probably invented the word fleshlight.
he probably did. That's actually probably
Flashlight, but with flesh.
Yeah, dude, he's so gross.
Yeah.
He's so gross. But yeah, I think Cody Rhodes is going to come back.
Anyways, back to
Transitioning
adrenaline in my soul.
Yep, we're going to get away from. He has adrenaline in his grapefruit.
Yes.
That's what Vince has. But yeah, I think Cody Rhodes is going to come back for sure. I think Edge is going to come back again.
Of course.
I think he'll be one of the entries. I don't see him coming back before the Royal Rumble. I think Edge is going to come back during the Royal Rumble.
Probably at.
I'm trying to think. Do you think there's any other big returns that are going to happen? Because those are the only two big ones I can think of.
There was a leaked sheet. I don't remember.
Fucking dirt sheets.
Yeah, that I accidentally saw, but I don't think it's real.
Oh, wait. I know which one you're talking about. It is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
They did say that one of them was like maybe CM Punk.
Do you think CM Punk would come back?
I hope not.
I don't think he would. I mean, because I know him and Triple H have like a decent relationship or whatever.
I think they would try it. If we were talking like them actually sitting down and having a meeting, I think they would both be open to trying something.
I just don't see it happening with him. I think he's done. I think he's for
done.
sure done with wrestling.
I hope so.
Well, and also every time he would get the title, he would get an injury.
Yeah,
So he's not fucking there. Like, he's still great in the ring, don't get me wrong, but his body's broken down.
He's good in the ring.
I mean, like when you really let him go and like have a good long match.
Yeah.
Which that's one of the problems with AEW. They have a lot of botches. Like a lot of botches. Which I'll get into this later. WWE still has some real fucking fun ones, but AEW just has some, AEW has some sloppy ones.
What's his name? I can't think of it. Something dollar. Top dollar.
Top dollar. Yeah,
let's dude. SmackDown with the leg.
Hilarious.
That was great.
I felt bad for him though, but
I didn't. I mean, yeah, it sucked. But
I felt bad for him because his leg gave out.
Yeah, but it still looked cool. Everybody
cool.
sold it. Like, he was like, my legs gave out. I was like, yeah like fucking. I forgot how you say legs in Spanish, but planta suicida. That's how I called that move.
It wasn't like fucking like what's his face? Tyrus, not Tyrus. What? I can't even remember his name.
For the best.
The fucking dude that ran down the aisle. And
Titus O'Neil.
Titus, yeah.
Yeah.
Not Tyrus. Tyrus is an asshole.
Titus O'Neil.
Tyrus sucks. Titus rules.
Titus O'Neil, great. Tyrus, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, fucking Fox News, fucking jack off. Anyway, back to WrestleMania.
Just real quick, Fox News is the only news company in the world that said, here's a political opinion by a pro wrestler.
Dude, and of all pro wrestlers to have, it's going to be Tyrus.
Yeah, there's way better pro wrestlers than Tyrus.
Dude, I don't even fuck with the right side, but like, there's way more right wing wrestlers that would have been better to talk to than Tyrus, of all people.
People from the 80s?
Yeah, dude, a whole bunch. But I think with here's the big question with WrestleMania and with Royal Rumble: is The Rock coming back?
Probably.
You think he is?
I think he is.
You think it's gonna be The Rock and Roman?
Yeah. Did you see do you watch that show with The Rock on channel? What was it, like on Peacock?
Yeah, Young Rock.
Young Rock, yeah.
Which is a fantastic
There
show.
was a scene where, because it takes place in the future where he's president of the country.
By the way, comedian Adam Ray is the one that plays Vince McMahon in that show.
Really?
Yep.
I gotta follow up and catch up on it.
Adam fucking rules. Adam rules, and he's the one that plays Vince in that show, which I think is great.
I gotta see it.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in Young Rock, from what I saw online, was where he was walking by his championships, and one of them was the Universal Championship.
I saw that. I did see the screenshot of it.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, what are they trying to say there? I was like, that makes sense, because why would you're trying to make it as accurate as possible. Like, you kind of just gave a little hint there.
See, that's funny, because it either could have been a hint or it could have been a massive fuck up.
It was definitely a tease.
I feel like it was too. So do you think it's going to be, if it's going to be The Rock versus Roman, do you think it's going to be for the championship, or do you think it's just going to be a match?
I think it's, so I have this weird feeling about with the Sami Zayn stuff. If I had to guess, I have a feeling along the lines they're going to split up. Sami Zayn is going to somehow have a match with Roman, and The Rock is going to have a match with Roman.
So you think those are
both nights?
Okay, so
I think that's what they're gonna do. I'm obviously I'm just playing it in my mind.
Sure,
but there could be a thing where like, hey, Sami Zayn had a match first against Roman for the title, but he loses. But Roman's so fucked or whatever that The Rock beat him the next night. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
sure. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because I think Roman's wrestling both nights, 100%.
I think he's wrestling both nights, and I think it's because he has both titles right now. But so here's what I think is going to happen with Sami and the Bloodline. I think it's going to separate sooner than later. I think that Sami and Kevin Owens are going to challenge the Usos, and I think they're going to beat them. I think that Sami and Kevin are going to be the new champions. Because also I don't see anybody else taking the titles off of the Usos.
No.
Like there's nobody else that fits. And so I could see them doing it. It would also take Sami back from being on the side that he is now. And also they've planted little seeds of that.
Yeah.
And like Kevin Owens is always kind of like the shady character anyway, whether he's good or bad. So he and him and Sami have such history on it that I think that's what's going to come back. And then also I think when it comes down to The Rock and Roman, I hope it's not for the championship. Because if it is for the championship, The Rock either has to lose, which I think would be fine, except for the fact that there's nobody else to challenge for the title. Like there literally is not. And then if The Rock doesn't lose, he has to win the title, which that I don't think he should win the title. I really don't, because he's part-time as fuck.
I think he's the only person that could beat Roman. I mean, Roman's had such a freaking huge, streak.
He has.
Who can beat that streak? Like
that's
Rock,
what I'm saying is if it's not for the title, then I'm fine with The Rock beating him. Yeah. Because if he beats him then it kind of tells people like, okay, this dude is beatable. Like somebody can beat him. It happened to be The Rock, but still at that point that puts the chink in the armor. You know what I mean? Like that shows the audience that like somebody could take him down. Whether it's Kevin Owens, whether it's whoever. Like, could you imagine people losing their fucking mind if it was Sami Zayn?
Yeah.
Like if they honestly want to have,
that'd be,
dude, the place would explode.
Yeah.
If The Rock came in and beat him, if The Rock came in and beat Roman, and like just beat him on a regular match, like just beat him like Bloodline versus Bloodline type of thing, beat him, and then like on the next pay-per-view, or fuck it, even the Raw after WrestleMania, if Sami Zayn was the one that beat him for the title, that place would lose its mind.
Yeah,
that would
work.
I would love that.
I can't wait. I'm gonna be there, so I can't wait.
Oh, you are gonna be there?
Yes, I will be in LA next year. I can't wait.
I'm jealous of that.
I have to. It's about time I go to LA finally.
I'm jealous as hell of that one.
We got some cool. We have some ideas right now too with other stuff. We'll get into it later.
Okay. So I want to shift here because WrestleMania is the biggest thing. Like it's the biggest event of the year for wrestling, and I want to shift to the other side of wrestling, like not the stuff that's huge. I want to talk about the indies a little bit because the indies, there's a lot of stuff going on in the indies right now. Like this is something that I think has been cool with AEW, and also with ever since Triple H took over WWE, he's had leniency with people being able to do stuff like that whole Forbidden Door thing that people kind of shit on when AEW did it. It's creaking open on the WWE side too, because Shinsuke is going to be going over to take on Muta.
Yeah, and there's also little things too, like Seth Rollins was hanging out at the Showboat during a GCW show.
Oh shit, I didn't. Yeah,
somebody snapped a picture of him looking behind the curtain, like he was hanging out. It was the same day WWE had an Atlantic City house show that was like literally down the boardwalk.
Right.
So apparently Seth was hanging out in the GCW locker room, which is pretty much this hallway that goes to his back area to the back door or whatever.
Right.
It's not that big. But he was just like peeking through the curtain, and somebody snapped a photo of him real quick. And
ooh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, that was also during the whole, I don't know if you heard about GCW with Fight Plus. Now they have a subscription, $5 a month. You could see any GCW show in the past, as well as any live show for $5 a month.
Okay.
But I think there was a whole thing where Stephanie McMahon and Brett Lauderdale were having meetings, and I'm assuming it was about him possibly going under the WWE umbrella with Peacock.
Okay.
Like WWE buying his rights.
To the video library.
Yeah, and then they ended up going to Fight Plus.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think that was why they were having all those little meetings back then. But yeah. But it's pretty cool to see GCW be this little company from New Jersey. Pretty much the third most popular indie, not even indie wrestling promotion. The third most popular wrestling promotion in the nation.
I mean, honestly, it is. And that's something that's interesting, too, because, like, when I asked you earlier about Bully and Impact, Impact, I think, is the one that more people know the name of. Yeah. But then when you watch our shows and shit, like...
Yeah, I don't watch Impact at all.
That's what I mean. Is like when you ask most people, like, they know what Impact is. A lot of times they know who the wrestlers that are for, wrestle for Impact are and stuff like that. But I almost don't see anybody that's like, oh, yeah, I watch Impact.
Like, I watch GCW and JCW, Jersey Championship Wrestling, way more.
Right.
Than Impact. And it's so hard to follow them because there's barely any storylines. There are some now. ICW has some storylines. They just finished this major one with the Kirks. Shout out to the Kirks. I love you guys. They're great people. They had this whole storyline with Casey Kirk. I don't know. Do you know Casey Kirk and Brandon Kirk?
I know who they are, but yeah.
So, like, obviously they're married.
Right.
And Cruel came in and was having a thing for Casey.
Okay.
And Casey kind of separated from her husband and started calling herself Casey Catal, which was her former last name.
Oh, shit.
And it was like an interesting story. Like, yo, these motherfuckers are doing great story work, like, right here.
Cruel fucking rules, by the way.
Cruel's awesome. Cruel's such a good dude.
Also, what a cool name for a wrestler.
Yeah. Dude, I saw him at the ICW show in January earlier this year, and it didn't look the same on TV, but seeing him do that dive from over the top rope into the row of chairs that were there,
right?
Me and my buddy Steve, we were next to each other. Both our jaws dropped. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's been doing cool shit before then,
right?
But like ever since then, I'm like, yo, this guy's the man. Like, this dude is the man, and
he's huge.
He's huge, and I got lucky enough one night to hang out with him. He is the nicest guy ever.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
He's such a sweetheart.
And when you look at him, he looks like he's going to be nasty.
Yeah, like he scares the shit out of me, masked up and everything right there in front of you.
Right.
I don't want to fuck with you. I got to hang out with him outside of that. Very nice dude, down to earth. I made him double fist some beers.
Nice.
I was like, here, you have one? All right, here, take two. Like, very sweet guy. Very cool.
I've heard that about most deathmatch wrestlers too.
They're the nicest.
They seem to be real big sweethearts and shit.
Of everyone I met, deathmatch wrestlers are the nicest people ever.
It's really funny because I've told this to a couple of people. I think you and also like our other friend Giovanni Lasagna, Aaron Kaplan.
Okay, on you.
Yeah, I've talked to him about it too. Where like Nick Gage as a character makes me want to punch him in the fucking face. Like I see him and I'm like, you seem like every douchebag, like overly macho, aggressive dude that I've met that I like at bars and shit. Like when I was in my cocaine days, those were the guys that I always wanted to fight at the bar. But then I've heard outside of that character, like he's also just a sweetheart of a dude. He just happens to have a little bit of an aggressive tone to him, but as a dude, he's great.
You ever see him walk his dogs?
No, that's hilarious.
I have.
Yeah. That's like Danzig buying cat food. Like, it's just like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't like Nick Gage, the character, at all, though?
It's not that I don't like him. It's like he does his job very well.
Okay.
I love him. He pisses me off.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to.
I have a funny story about Nick Gage.
Yeah, throw it out there.
I will tell you about it. So, I will admit to this. Fuck it. Fight Club last year. This was like a month after the hurricane. Obviously, I was affected by it, blah, blah, blah. Right. I wasn't happy around that time. I was very, like, bummed out. I was like...
You were unhappy.
Yes,
would be the best
obviously. Yeah. So, I... whatchamacallit? I got really high at Fight Club at Showboat. I was like, fuck it, smoke weed.
Right.
I remember doing an edible. I didn't know it was an edible. I thought my friend was just giving me a cookie, like an Oreo cookie, and he puts away a silver envelope. And I'm like, what? And he goes, oh, it's only 40 milligrams. And I was just like, what the fuck does that mean? So obviously,
Was this the first time you ever took an edible?
and forever.
Oh, wow.
This is like pretty much my first time smoking weed in like 8 years.
Was smoking weed and taking an edible are two very different experiences.
Like I was smoking, I was chilling, right? I was fine, right? But the edible was different, and it didn't hit me until later on in the night when I met McFoley.
Yeah, it take like an hour.
Like I'm in line to meet McFoley, and then that's when it hit me. It just like I got really sleepy,
Right.
And I was just like, I finally met McFoley. I was like, "What's up, bro? What's up, bro? Your arms are so nice." Like I was saying stupid shit, and I don't think he liked me. But I went to sleep, and I made out with a Wawa sandwich in bed, and I just went straight to bed.
Real quick, like you should have met Rob Van Dam during this time.
I know.
Like not Mick Foley.
I know, but he was at the showboat. But yeah, I go to bed, and this is where I bring up the thing with Nick Gage. I go to bed, and obviously this was the main event with Nick Gage and Jon Moxley the first time. So
which their matches have been fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. I go to sleep very high. I had the opposite of a nightmare, which is like with laughter.
Okay.
When you wake up instead of scared, you wake up laughing. So this
Sure.
is why. I had a dream. We all met Nick Gage outside after his match. He's like, I fucking do this because I love you guys. You know, like, this is what I do for you. I'm not going to stop doing this until somebody puts a bullet in the back of my fucking head. And we're just like, yeah, we love you, Nick. We love you.
This was your dream?
Yeah, this is
okay.
your dream.
All right.
So it felt real. I'm like, we love you. And he goes up to me. He's like, yeah, I love you. I'm like, dude, I love you. You're so awesome. I'm looking down on him because I'm short, taller than him.
Right.
Like, you know, you're great. Like, you're awesome, man. I go, I hug him. I don't feel the glass or anything. He's all bloody or whatever. After I hug him, he goes, you know, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I feel like telling you. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually 19 years old.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then I looked at him, and I started laughing hard, and then I woke up. And I just kept laughing. So weird. Yeah, I was just like, he's 19? If you look up what Nick Gage looks like,
he is not 19.
No, but like that just,
he looks like the father of a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I will never forget this. I just woke up laughing at 6 in the morning. I could not go back to sleep.
Have you ever told Nick Gage this story?
No, I don't want to.
You don't want to?
I don't want to. I told some people this. They like died hysterically laughing, but like I don't think I ever want to tell Nick Gage that story.
I hope he hears the shit and he calls in.
Oh God, he would murder me.
He's like, I'm not. Well, murder, death, kill.
No, yeah. I think he'll probably shove me. He'll be like, you fucking. I met him once. I told you the time I met him.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I met him at Homecoming. So fun fact, I bought during a GCW Facebook Live sale, signed and autographed actual drawing of a unicorn, a shitty unicorn that was drawn by Nick Gage himself,
which is fantastic.
I had to. Somebody mentioned Nick Gage should draw a unicorn. We started bidding. I was like, fuck this. I want this. So I started bidding. I won at $70. I PayPal Nick Gage, Nicholas Wilson, $70 for this drawing. And he mailed it to me on a loose leaf.
A shitty unicorn.
It says, to Josh, shitty unicorn. It's Nick Gage, MDK all fucking day. So when I met him at Homecoming, I was like, dude, you look great, because he lost a lot of weight this past week.
Right.
Like, he got in shape and everything. It was great. So I was like...
almost alarming. Yeah. Like one of those things like, are you sick, buddy? Like,
nah.
Yeah.
No. I know it does, but...
now.
Yeah, he's like jacked. I gave him a hug. We took a picture together. I was like, dude, by the way, I'm Josh. I'm the guy that bought that unicorn off of you. And he looked at me and he shoved the shit out of me. And
hilarious.
he goes, you fucking crazy, man. And he's like, you crazy motherfucker. And I just like that. He starts laughing and he walks away.
That's what I mean. Like, I could see totally liking him outside of that. You know what I mean? Like, his character is just like, his character does exactly.
He could break a little bit, too.
Yeah. And dude, speaking of that, this is off the subject of indies and stuff. Did you see on SmackDown when Sami Zayn broke the bloodline?
Yes.
With the Uzi thing? Mm-hmm. That was the funniest shit that I've seen in a long time.
It was
because
great.
Everybody kind of like soaked it in. And that was one of those things that can only happen on live TV where they kind of just are like, fuck it, we're in this.
It was funnier when I found out later on that Uzi meant pussy.
That's what was so great about it, because
I had no idea until I found out later on.
No, and I didn't know that either, which is kind of odd.
I don't think a lot of us are Samoan that watch it.
No, I don't think there's. I didn't even know that was Samoan slang. I just thought it was like, a thing. But the fact that as soon as he said it, you could see. I think it was Jay that had to like put his hand over his mouth because he was trying to like not laugh. And then Roman, when he came in, he was like, nope. He was like, come over, like you get, sit in it with me. And like that was one of my favorite like character breaking things.
That was great.
Yeah, but I want to go back to the indie thing here really quick because like you are more into the indies than I am. Like just because you get to. What I mean by that is literally you go see the shows. And like I've told you before, I don't go to the shows because the fans usually piss me off.
Yeah, the fans do suck.
But
grab his dick and twist it. You're not funny.
I'm like no, that was funny once. That was funny one time.
If any fan is listening to this and has ever said that to in a show, wrestlers hate when you say that.
Yeah,
they hate it so much.
I hope they grab your dick with a handful of fluorescent light tube glass and twist it.
I really do.
That's what I want.
They should, to be honest with you.
I want to go see more of the shows. I do want to go see more of the shows because I've always liked deathmatch wrestling, especially for multiple different reasons. The characters are wild. Like the dudes that do it are just like they're a bigger version of who they are.
They're insane.
But the weapons that they use are nuts. Absolutely nuts. Like, we were talking about light tubes, which if anybody's ever been hit by a light tube, can't even feel it. Like there's no, fucking can't even feel it, which is not. I'm not saying
don't go out there and try it.
No, don't do it because there's lots of things. It's so funny because I wanted to say this. Like you can't feel it when you get hit with it,
right?
But the other shit that can happen because of it is crazy. So it's a very dangerous weapon.
It's like you could get hit by it and you won't feel nothing, but then the way it breaks, it could literally slice you open at the same time. So it's like it's a very big gamble.
It's for sure.
It's either nothing or you're gonna bleed to death.
Right. Now here's a question, a little behind the fourth wall type of thing. With deathmatch weapons, how many of them do you think are gimmicked? Because I know with like WWE and shit, you get like trash cans and they're made of like aluminum foil and shit like that. Like they're way gimmicked.
None of them.
I didn't think that's what I was thinking. Like with deathmatch stuff,
they literally go to Home Depot and buy everything.
That's what I was kind of figuring.
Try to get whatever they can on sale at a hardware store. I don't think any of that stuff is gimmicked. I could be wrong, maybe sometimes, but
I think light tubes are gimmicked by nature, but you can still slice the shit out of something.
I don't even think those. Yeah, those are definitely not. Barbed wire, no.
No. Deathmatch wrestlers.
They buy rolls of it at the fucking store.
Right. Deathmatch wrestlers don't use the bullshit barbed wire.
I think maybe if you want to talk like the thing I hate. Well, I kind of don't like the doors.
The doors look. They don't.
Who
even
has
look
a door under the ring?
Also, they don't look like doors to me.
Yeah.
Like when they break.
Where do they come from?
No, when they break, they don't look like doors to me.
Yeah, they look like an Amazon box. Like it's just like I'm not a fan of the doors. So it's like
they use them a lot now too.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's because it's cheaper than a table, but still.
It's because they buy real fucking tables. Half of the time they don't even break.
Yeah.
Which is wild when you see somebody get thrown off a top rope and they hit a table that just doesn't even break.
Yeah, 2022, year of the door. Like, there's no tables anymore. It's just doors.
On the opposite side of that, what's your favorite deathmatch weapon?
My favorite deathmatch weapon? I really love the poppers.
The poppers? That's
that's
a whole different thing.
It's wild. You ever seen it?
No, but like if you're saying poppers to the layman.
No. Oh, yeah, I just got it. Yeah, no. Yeah, they don't like then they fucking that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Just blowing a guy until he taps out.
No, that was a Joey Ryan thing. He's out of wrestling.
Yeah, he's done.
He's gone.
No, the fireworks thing, like they tape them on the bats. And then
okay, I know what you're talking about.
And then they fucking swat them, and it's just this big loud. Bah, bah, bah. It's like a mini little explosion. That might be my favorite one because I do like the noise, especially in person.
Yeah,
I do appreciate it a lot in person. I heard a very loud one at this one show in I think it was like July or whatever. It was way too loud. They put way too many of them on it. They had to apologize.
Like, we're real sorry about that.
No, they literally, after the match, the wrestler came out that used it. He literally came out and he literally apologized to each and every person that was at the show. He literally walked up to every fan and said, "I'm so sorry about the poppers. Are you okay?" Because there was actually one person that was like hurt, I think, or was like very discomforted by it.
That's so weird to me to have a deathmatch wrestler go around the crowd and be like, "We're really sorry for the loud noise."
Yeah.
I know that I tried to cut some.
He's a super nice dude too. I mean, they all are. He's super nice.
He's like, I know I tried to cut somebody's taint off with a pizza cutter earlier, but like, I'm really sorry about the Bing Bang Boom.
I stuck this gusset plate in someone's forehead and bleeded profusely. But are you okay?
I just want to make sure that the noise wasn't too loud.
Yeah, no, it was extremely loud. It was one of the loudest noises I've ever heard. It was too loud. It was definitely too loud.
So, because this is our first episode, because this is the first time we're doing any of this, I want to give a shout out to my favorite deathmatch weapon, because he's somebody who, first off, performs in New York and the Northeast like all the time. Mm-hmm. He fucking rules, and that's Casanova, fucking Valentine,
Brooklyn Black Death.
Yeah, dude. First off, he rules, but his deathmatch weapon, I shit you not. It's called Satan's Cock or Satan Cock, whichever. We're not sure. Satan or Satan.
I go for Satan Cock.
Satan Cock.
I know it's Satan Cock.
Which, first off, name, just chef's kiss. Satan Cock. What it is a giant floppy dildo. That's very important.
Double-headed dildo.
Yes, very important that it is floppy. Because if it was a firm dildo, it would be a little bit of a different weapon. Mm-hmm. But the floppiness, I feel like, makes it a little bit...
You can do more moves.
You can do more moves with it. It makes it a little more dangerous.
Yeah.
A little less easy to prepare for. Mm-hmm. And it's covered in nails.
Yep.
Could you imagine going to a death match the first time and having Cass come out and pull out Satan's cock and just start whipping somebody with a giant floppy dick with nails?
He does. I've always seen him do submissions on people with it. Like he'll do like a a cross face,
like a crippler cock face.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Reverse.
Okay.
Yeah, like with like over their face and everything. The funniest thing about Satan cock is every time I see it, there's always brown residue on it. And that's either from blood or or you can, wonder what else that is that. But it's funny that the residue is brown. I will say that. But it is definitely obviously blood.
I was going to say, because when blood does coagulate, it does get darker.
You do have to wash your hands after touching that thing.
So, have you ever seen Satan cock in person?
Oh, a bunch of times.
Have you ever touched Satan cock?
Yes.
Have you? Nice.
Yes.
Good for you. I'm very.
I've also grown things on my hand after. You definitely got to wash your hands after touching that thing. He has had 3 of them, I think. 3.
So he's had to run through Satan cocks. Well, he's actually the first expired.
I could be wrong about this. I remember the first one he lost on the subway, and someone took a picture of it and went viral.
I heard that story, and I did see the picture.
They were like, "What the fuck is this thing?" And it was just a double-headed. It was a dildo with nails on the subway, and that was his weapon. That's why he lost it. And I don't know if he ever got that back. Then he had another one.
Of course, he didn't get that back.
He had Satan Cock 2, and now he's on Satan Cock 3. He sold Satan Cock 2 because it was like too old.
Oh, he aged out of Satan Cock 2.
That's why. Yeah, no, it deteriorated. It was like, it's not useful.
Oh, it is true. It's rubber and latex. They do actually, especially if you're sticking nails.
I think he's on Satan Cock 3 right now.
To be fair, he's not using a dildo in the way that a dildo would usually be used, so I can understand the deterioration.
He's using it for art.
Yeah, I can understand the deterioration at that time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is true. It was viral. I totally remember that now because I saw the picture and everybody was like, "What is going on? Why is there this dildo with nails?" In which it's New York, so it's kind of like, I mean, that's not the weirdest thing that I've seen in New York, but it's close. Mm-hmm. It is close. So Casanova Valentine, Satan Cock 1 lives on in infamy. Viral.
We should have him. We'll have him on here one day, and we'll get him to bring it.
Goddamn right, I want to have Cass.
We'll have him flip it around right here on the table.
It is we have to apologize to the producer Brian, he's not on the God mic, but Brian, sorry dude, we're gonna have a big floppy nail-filled cock that's going to be on the table at some point.
We'll have plenty of like alcoholic wipes and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
What? I know Casanova. Oh, okay.
He knows him.
Oh yeah.
Even better. So yeah.
So we're bringing him on here.
Yeah, absolutely right. Casanova's going to have to bring Satan Cock in. We're going to showcase him. We'll give it a microphone and everything. It'll be great.
Yeah, we'll just have a separate. We'll have the Satan Cock sit here with the microphone right here.
We'll have a Satan Cock camera.
Another camera.
It'll just be right there.
That'd be great. I'll ask him later.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. So yeah, I wanted to talk real quick before we wrap this up. Botch of the week. Do you think it's or botch of the month? I'll say at this point. Do you think it's going to be Top Dollars?
I think it's Top Dollars.
You think it is? I'd say to me, it was going to go between that and Ronda Rousey and Shotzi, which I felt bad for because it had nothing to do with Shotzi.
You know what it is? See, that one was whatever because it's kind of expected of Ronda to fuck up all the time, and then she's like, "Oh, sorry, I did a move for the first time," and it's like, "What are you doing? Like, why would you do that on TV if it's the first time?" Like, it just makes you angry. Top Dollar's move is just funny.
Top Dollar's move was really funny.
Yeah.
I want to say I will defend Ronda in this sense. I did see a thing that Shotzi, by the way, fully vouched on. Okay, that they actually did go over that spot multiple times. Like they did actually go over the spot.
Oh, so that makes it even worse for her.
No, it wasn't on Shotzi. It was definitely not. Yeah, it was 100% on Ronda. And I think when she did it, I think what Ronda was trying to do. What she was trying to do was she was trying to brace the fall for Shotzi so that Shotzi didn't flop onto the ground. So that's where she fucked up. So I will say this about Ronda. She's gotten better. She has. She's still not a great wrestler because it's not her game. She'll fuck somebody up in a judo tournament.
Stop.
Yeah, she'll fuck up an MMA fighter.
Fucking Darren Drozdov somebody.
It's just hand it over to Shayna Baszler.
Did you see when she first started wrestling, the way she was tossing bitches?
It was crazy.
I was like, what the fuck?
When she was doing the Piper's Pit and she was coming like this fucking close to like slamming their neck into the ground.
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me.
I was worried about that. But Top Dollar, man, I gotta give him credit where credit's due because like he already said like, yeah, I fucked up. He was like, my leg gave out.
Exactly.
He was like, but it was fun. Like I'll do it again.
Yeah, I like botches that are funny, not the ones that like someone almost gets hurt.
No, we don't want to see anybody get Hayabusa.
Yeah, I do like that. No.
I just gave Josh new nightmares.
Yeah. Not new ones, just PTSD. No. But yeah.
Top Dollar also seems like a cool dude. He seems like down to earth. He seems cool as fuck. And also, like, he was talking to people. He was like, people that make fun of it. He was like, all right, that's on you. He was like, that's your life. That's what you want to do. It was just like, took the high road on it. He was just like, all right.
It's very weird when wrestling fans chant, "You fucked up."
That is crazy.
Like you could do better.
Well, and I will say the thing that Chris Jericho, which love him or hate him, he has a lot of really fucking opinionated opinions. But the thing that he said about botches, I do have to agree with. Because when you give somebody shit for a botch, it's kind of like, fuck you, dude. Like, this is a live show. Like, shit happens sometimes,
I wouldn't do that because you know why? Because it takes me forever to tie my shoes.
I was going to say, I got a Charlie horse while taking a shit. Like they can do.
We went to Jonas Rose's earlier, and I almost hurt myself just walking down the street. Like,
that is true. You almost pulled your hip out of the socket.
I almost rolled my ankle. Instead, I just destroyed my hip.
Yeah, this is
people going, "You fucked up. You fucked up." Like,
we are in New York. That would happen. Like if we actually tripped and fell in front of New Yorkers, that's something that would happen.
That's true.
Well, dude, this has been fun, man. This has been a good first episode. And what do you got going on? I know you got. All right, what's the next indie show? What's the next indie show you're going to see?
I'm going to Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. My good buddy Benel, aka the Flying Lucha Pig Ham, he's on it.
I love Benel.
Yeah, great. He's on that show. If you want to come check it out with me, it's shit. I can't think of the wrestling promotion right now. It's Fallout, thing versus IFC, which is also like kind of a new wrestling promotion. So it's like a them versus them. Then there's also Invictus Pro earlier during the day. So basically, I'll be spending the whole day in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. I think that's in 2 weeks, like right before New Year's.
If you weren't going to see wrestling, I would say that sounds like a terrible day.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But some other buddies of mine are on that show too. So it'll be a good time. I can't wait to go hang out. So that's the next show I'm going to.
Nice. What else you got going on?
I got the Creek in the Cave. Well, it's weird. I produce a show. Well, I don't really produce a show. It's really Kat and Dylan. But I'm part of it. It's at the Creek in the Cave in Austin, Texas. It's called Creek in the Cage. It's a comedy, wrestling, insane shit.
It's actually awesome.
It's awesome. I've seen videos of what the fuck is this show, which is great.
Tell the people what's involved with that show as to why people would say, what the fuck is this?
We all start with the national anthem. They start every show with the national anthem, which is Brock Lesnar versus Zach Gowen. They introduce everybody to that. Everyone, there's like chops, people getting chopped. Somebody went through a table at the last show.
Beautiful.
I don't know why. Zach Gowen's also involved somehow. He has beef with Dylan, which is one of the producers of the show. So Zach Gowen's now involved in Creek in the Cage.
If you don't know who Zach Gowen is, he is a wrestler with one leg.
Yeah.
And he's been around for a while.
Watch Zach Gowen versus Brock Lesnar. It's so funny watching a fucking collegiate athlete destroying a handicapped person.
It is so vicious.
Yeah.
It is the nastiest non-deathmatch thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So I do a segment that's part of the show. It's not a YouTube series yet. It's called Alba versus the World. It's kind of like a weekend update, but with wrestling. And there's also a little bit of storylines I've been incorporating. Like, I literally just booked my cat on the show. He is now a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the clip about the dog actually having a wrestling match.
No.
Yeah, so that happened. Dog had a wrestling match. I'll send you a link later.
I've seen Kenny Omega fight a fuck doll, so whatever.
So my cat, I've been doing these promos where my son Abel, is a pro wrestler, and we have another one tomorrow night that we're showing. I think he might be throwing out an open challenge, and also we might be seeing somebody answering that challenge. I don't know. There's one way to find out if you go to that show, and eventually, if you follow me on Instagram, it's Josh Alba. I will be posting that on there as well. Also, I have a show in New York City at Pine Box Rock Shop called Putting It Out There. It's comedians putting it out there, pretty much going off the rails in a way too. Next one is January 6th. Weird date for a comedy show.
Listen, we need to take that date back and make it funny because that date's forever fucked up.
It's a Friday night, so
yeah, we need to take that date back.
Yeah.
I see you're rocking the beanie there for Pine Box.
I love Pine Box so much.
They fucking rule.
They've been so nice to me.
They're great.
They're like, it's like I got like producer PTSD from the previous venue, Gold Sounds. So I'm
dropping the name.
Oh, you guys are nice. Oh my god, thank you. You guys are not addicted to coke. Oh, thank you.
What's happening?
Fuck them. But yeah, and then also I'll be going to LA with some cool stuff coming up too.
It's badass.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of things to go on here. We got the Traumedy Hour, which is the last Thursday of every month, coming back in January. We did not do it in December or November because of holidays, but we're coming back in January. So that's at the Tiny Cupboard in Brooklyn. So that's me and my co-producer, Lauren Petrie. So we do that show, and that it's really just dark humor. Anything that you're worried about making jokes about, or you're scared to make jokes about, as far as any kind of darkness or trauma in your life, that's what that show is for. So we do that, and then also I have another goddamn horror podcast. Which, if you're a horror fan, that's the show for you. We do a lot of stuff on that where we talk to different filmmakers, we talk to different actors, people involved with the horror genre, and that's always fun. And you can find all of our newest episodes and all of our stuff on that at Linktree, which is linktr.ee/AGHP666. And we do at least a new episode of that every week. We just had an episode with a cult horror icon, Bill Oberst Jr. And if you saw his face, you'd know exactly who he is. Works with a lot of legends in the business, like Bill Moseley. He's done work with Sid Haig prior to Captain Spaulding leaving us. So that's our most recent episode. Real good mind. For the horror genre. And the reason I bring that up is because there's a lot of things in wrestling that I think a lot of people don't realize horror is kind of along with, so I think a lot of those things go together. The Bray Wyatt, his shit, it's getting real spooky. So
they need to hurry up though.
Yeah, they do. They need to speed it up. I think his next his first match back is just going to be an absolute fucking squash, which, you know what? I love LA Knight. But he's getting fed to Bray Wyatt. So, but I think the horror and the wrestling stuff, a lot of it goes together, and I think if they do it right, they're going to keep it going really well. So,
yep.
But yeah, that's what I got going on. That's what you got going on. Yep. This has been the Monday Nitro Party. Everybody tune in next episode. Thank you guys so much. This has been fun.
That was terrible.
That